Look, the San Francisco 49ers got enough pressure on them already, but now we got a whole other beef storyline in 49ers camp. And it's the current situation between former safety and hard hitter Donte Whitner and current safety and underachiever Ji'Ayir Brown. So today we're breaking down why this is even happening. So let's dive in.
ThaAuthenticTake, the real, no fake. ThaAuthenticTake, yeah, the real, no fake.
Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on this video. Helps out a lot. Now let's go. So was Donte Whitner keeping it real, or did he cross a line? My first initial thoughts, just my opinion, is just that I feel like Donte Whitner is just the right guy to do this. Hard hitter, probably the hardest hits as a Niner that I've seen since Ronnie Lott, to be real. And I feel like he's just trying to give some vibes to Ji'Ayir Brown. But I think this goes to the whole factor that someone in Whitner's generation would have took it as tough love and someone's doing this because they see something in them. But now it's just this generation is just more sensitive and everything someone says is in the media spotlight. But anyway, this beef all started because Donte Whitner was very critical of Ji'Ayir Brown's play, which I gotta say, I feel like fans and other media members are as well. To me, if you want to talk about what were his highlights last year, the only thing I really remember is against Carolina. I think he had a 2-interception game, which is great, but not crazy stats after that. So Whitner was critical of Ji'Ayir Brown's play, and Whitner, as a former NFL safety, dives deep into the football. He watches constant tape and really studies the game and was pointing out Brown's deficiencies. He talked about his many missed tackles, his coverage issues, and whether or not Brown is ready to play at this level. According to reports, Brown did not like the criticism coming from Donte Whitner and allegedly called Donte Whitner and voiced his concern for the criticism, and also reached out to Richard Sherman, who was also mentioned in the criticism. And Donte Whitner went on his podcast and kind of aired it out, which might go against the unwritten code. And Brown basically told Whitner that he wasn't keeping it G, which Donte Whitner, in my opinion, is keeping it football. There's nothing about G-isms in football. And he basically had that reaction because they were criticizing him publicly. And while Donte Whitner was airing this all out on his podcast, the Grit Code podcast, Donte Whitner was standing 10 toes down and didn't appreciate Ji'Ayir Brown coming to check him like that, especially on the status that Ji'Ayir Brown is on right now. And honestly, Donte Whitner felt really disrespected as a retired veteran safety. From Whitner's point of view, he played the position, he made Pro Bowls, and he knows what a Pro Bowl safety looks like. And apparently that's not what he's seeing with Ji'Ayir Brown, who allegedly feels like that's the status that he's on right now. And Donte says if he sees something bad or wrong on tape, he's going to air it out, which I like that. Say what's on your chest. And honestly, that's the job of an analyst. If you're going to be on camera, you can't just be a cheerleader. You got to speak the facts. And Donte feels if Brown is not seeing what he's seeing pre-snap, someone's got to air it out. But there is also another side to this, that there's one thing that Donte could do, and he could be someone that criticizes Brown. But then when you make it personal, it's a different thing here. When you're airing out phone calls and calling Brown delusional and saying he can't handle the pressure, he can't handle criticism, it's kind of making it personal. A lot of people have said that this might be the point where Donte might have taken it too far, but we're already here. Now let's look at Ji'Ayir Brown's side. Ji'Ayir Brown is a young player trying to make his name in the league. He is playing on one of the most watched teams in the NFL, and every mistake gets magnified. So when a former player that has worn the same jersey as you criticizes you publicly, it tends to hit a nerve and you might take it personal. So Ji'Ayir might be like, hold on, we're both 49ers. Instead of helping me out, giving me tips or techniques or training sessions and pulling me up, you're kind of dragging me down to the ground. And he may feel like he's getting criticized just so Whitner could get some new viral clickbait content. But then here's the flip side. Like I said earlier, this is really old school way of thinking versus the new school sensitivity. Because Whitner comes from the old school football mentality where tape is tape and tape don't lie. And if you messed up, you messed up. Don't complain to me. Just rectify it. But Brown is part of the new era that they hear everything. They see every clip. They hear every podcast. They see every fan comment. Do they really? All right. And they are more willing to respond if they feel like the criticism is unfair to them. Neither side is really completely wrong. Whitner is allowed to critique the player. Brown could have used the criticism and used it as fuel. And honestly, the San Francisco 49ers don't need this as a distraction right now. The football side, let's talk about the actual football. Ji'Ayir definitely has talent. Nobody is saying that he cannot play football. He has shown flashes, he's made plays, he has not made plays, and definitely has the physical tools to be a contributor on the 49ers. But the issue, like a lot of players, is the consistency. As a safety, you can't just have highlight plays. You got to be consistent play by play. You have to tackle, you have to communicate, you have to understand route combinations, and you have to know what's going on before the ball is even snapped. Basically, the quarterback on the defense. And when you're playing on the 49ers defense, the expectations are high. What the fan base knows what a championship defense looks like, and they know what a good safety plays like. So Ji'Ayir Brown doesn't need to just prove Donte Whitner wrong, but he needs to prove the film wrong. Because at the end of the day, the tail of the tape always wins. So honestly, who's right? Make sure you leave it down in the comments. But they're honestly not both wrong. Whitner is a former player that should always give his exact thoughts and criticism because you know he actually cares. And Brown, if he doesn't like the criticism, he should come with some actual context instead of just showing that he was publicly embarrassed. So in the end, I feel like they're both right. If you feel like it's unfair, like Ji'Ayir Brown, say something. But if you're OG safety like Donte Whitner, and you see things that Ji'Ayir Brown could do better, then you definitely spit that out so he hears it, because I don't think it could do anything but help. But that's what I think. Tell me what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, this has been The Authentic Take.
Authentic take, the real, no fake. Authentic take, yeah, the real, no fake.